Needing some encouragement to break through your now? Here's what Life Coach Sloan says. Change the way that you think and you will alter the entire course of your life.
You're tuned into Breaking Through Your Now with your life coach, Sybil Sloan.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Breaking Through Your Now with your life coach, Sybil Sloan. Remember, if you change the way that you think, you will alter the entire course of your life. I have in the studio with me this morning, GTorres. I believe he's a rapper and a hip hop artist.
Yes,
thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's an absolute honor. So tell our audience just a little bit about you because I'll probably mess it up and they already know by now.
Well, like you said, my name is GTorres. I'm hailing straight out of Fayetteville, North Carolina. Hip hop rap artist that likes to give inspiration on a lot of different levels when it comes to my music by giving my life so that you can relate to it and also help build people. So, hopefully they grasp a lot when they listen to it.
Okay, so if you guys can see, I have also, I call it some paraphernalia. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Merchandise, whatever.
Merchandise for GTorres. So I was having a little interview with you earlier, and we were talking about some things that actually was very inspiring for, and I don't even know his age, you guys, but I just always say for a young guy, right. for a young guy to have a lot of, I guess, direction. Right. And it doesn't seem like that you've always had the direction. However, it does appear that over the process of life or the journey of life, right. you have gotten some direction, and you have a project that was just dropped, January 27th?
January 27th.
So, Truth. So, you guys, here's the project, Truth. And now, I can tell you what it means, but I think it said the reality underneath this happy surface. Yes, so, when I think about what that could mean, if I was just reading this in the store or on TV, this happy surface, is this saying the persona that you give to people, that everything's okay, you're smiling, exactly. But under the smile is some things that the average person wouldn't think exists right, under right. the smile. So you can tell them a little bit more because I'm making up his story and I'm sure he can tell it better by himself.
Yeah, well, like I said, the album name is Truth. And like you said, the concept behind behind the title is the fact that I have to put on this persona as if I'm happy, just so people won't have a reason to ask me what's wrong or what's going on. But in reality, it's a lot behind the smile. You have to put on this smile and you got to put on this mask in front of the public, so you could give off that, you're fine, everything is good, and won't nobody have no worries about you, but really behind it is a lot of pain, a lot of stuff that you're trying to hide behind the smile.
So now you guys know when I can grab a moment and make it a life coach moment or a didactic moment, I grab it. What I heard you say, it was that whenever you have to be careful or mindful that what you say or how you look or project to people is not mistaken. And my challenge with that is that sometimes when we have to do that, we don't always keep it 100 with ourselves. Right. And I feel that we have to sometimes authenticate what we feel is a falsity maybe. Right. So we have to find ways to authenticate the realness of the smile, where even though there's pain, I'm not pretending as if I'm happy. Right. Underneath the smile is some disappointment. Underneath the smile is some hurt. Right. But the truth is, I've just learned to smile through it all because I realize that at the end of every rainbow is a pot of gold. After every storm, there's going to be some sunshine. So I oftentimes want to always with my clients, and you're not my client obviously, but what I say with my clients is, I don't want you to make a falsity about smiling. I really want smiling to be real. I want smiling to be the reality. And I get it. There is a phraseology that says fake it till you make it. I'm not a fan of fake it till you make it, but I get the concept of why people say fake it till you make it. Because when you're in the public, when you're pursuing things, if you don't give off the right energy, right, you will attract the very thing that you're giving off. And so sometimes the fake it till you make it just simply means appear in a certain way, because you want to be able to attract positive vibes, good people, and you don't want to live life feeling like you're at another place of disappointment or another place of hurt. But I want the viewing audience to get right now, when you realize that you can't make a falsity of it, it has to actually, the smile has to really be who you are at your core. It may not be where you are in your journey, but it has to be who you are in your journey. You get what I'm saying? Right. And I believe that earlier in our conversation, you extracted some things saying that I had to make a lot of adjustments and a lot of changes. Just touch on, for a minute or two, what things you had to change in your journey. I believe you're talking about cutting off, the pruning process where you had to get rid of the negative people, the negative things. Just expound on how that actually impacted you and allowed you to go through your journey that may have had pain, but you went through it with the real smile, and it wasn't a make-believe smile.
Well, as far as energy go, I'm just one person that believe that it's definitely real, and it's definitely something that could transfer from one person to another. And I found out throughout my journey that when I was holding in a lot of the negative energy because of the stuff I was going through, that it was slowing me down, that I wasn't progressing anywhere, that I couldn't take my mind off of a lot of the pain that I dealt with. And you always have to keep that smile on your face, so you won't be giving off that negative energy to nobody else. But also you have to have that mentality that regardless of what you're going through, something is going to get better. It's going to get better. There's truth to when they say you can only go up from here.
Right.
So as long as you keep that mentality and you let go of a lot of that negative energy, your mind is going to start to, function and thinking that, okay, it's going to get better. It's just me figuring out how it's going to get better and taking those steps to make things better. You can't stay dwelling on the negative. So when it comes, find a way to let it go and move forward.
So I always tell everybody, one of my friends, my clients, you got 24 hours to figure out how you're going to get past this.
Right.
And once those 24 hours are up, I'm going to expect you to change how you feel about your situation, because if you change how you feel about it, you're going to change how you think, and then you're going to change how you're acting. So now it has no choice but to shift, because in that 24 hours, you can allow yourself to have all those feelings, but what you can't do, you can't get caught up in the feeling, because I often say, even in my book, Holding On and Letting Go, I talk about the emotions being dangerous. The emotions can consume you, and they can cause you to get into an area in which you can't pull yourself back out of. And I want you guys to stay tuned in right here, because we're coming right back with more conversation with GTorres and your life coach, Sybil Sloan, and Breaking Through Your Now.
We'll be right back with more of Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan on Montgomery's CW Network.
Needing some encouragement to break through your now? Here's what Life Coach Sloan says. Change the way that you think, and you will alter the entire course of your life.
This right here, the body is an amazing machine, and the Creator makes no mistakes when it comes to our own healing in our body. Make better choices for yourself. But the one thing that I had to learn was to keep that positivity inside of me, because our mind can go to the negative a lot faster than it'll go to the positive.
You're not going to come to me with the same issues every single time. I don't have time for it. When you're anointed, it's a gift. It's a gift from God. So there's a difference between having a gift and being talented.
I like fellowshipping, actually. When people get together, have a good time, laugh, they're feeding their bellies and their souls,
Right.
Just all of that. That is a root also for me. To see the outcome of everything and everyone having a good time, that helps me put it all into perspective.
Now, back to Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan on Montgomery's CW Network.
Welcome back to Breaking Through Your Now. This is your life coach, Sybil Sloan, and my continued interview with GTorres.
Man, G's here.
G's here. G's here, y'all. So earlier we were just talking about the face, the not letting it be a falsity, but coming from the depth of who we are. So now we're going to shift the interview just a little bit, and we're going to talk about what the truths with an S.
Yes.
What actually made you actually write this project, produce this project? Where did it come from? Where was it birthed from?
Okay, actually this album it's my way of bringing the audience closer to me.
Okay.
You know, I'm one of the artists that feels that the way to gain your core following is to give them that gateway to feeling like they know you. I can't come into the game or come off rip giving you this image like I got it like that, or I done made it. So I want you to know where the beginning came from.
Okay.
And I'm structured the album the way it is based around this, this therapy session, just so I could give them those different steps that brought me to where I'm at today. You know, the pain that I went through, the ups and downs I went through when it came to family, when it came to friends, when it came to the effects the city had on my life, and me overcoming all of that.
Okay.
And we getting to this point where I'm at today. So that's basically what structured it, is, me venting those issues out with this therapy session because of music being my therapy.
Okay, so you said the city. So would that be Brooklyn? Would that be Fayetteville?
That would be-
Just tell me which city was that sort of kind of helped you birth, I will say, this project?
Definitely Fayetteville, North Carolina. I was raised here. This really the only thing I know is the city of Fayetteville, and in this album I touch on the good and the bad that I've experienced while living here and the effects that it has had on me. So when you listen to songs like 1027, which gives you that bad aspect, and then you listen to City of Mine, where I'm glorifying the greatness of Fayetteville and the outlook and the love that I have for my city, and why I want to represent this city and on this level so much, all of that comes from the effect and the outlook that I have that was influenced by the city of Fayetteville. So.
Okay, so and so everybody knows so is my next phrase. One day I'm gonna get rid of so in my life, and I'm not gonna say so at the end of or at the beginning of the next question.
Okay.
What would you say was the deepest pain that led you to realizing that there was something more, that you were not the sum total of what you had been experiencing, what had been said about you, what had been said to you? What was the deepest pain that took you to another place, that told GTorres, I gotta go somewhere else, like I can't stay here?
The deepest pain, honestly, was the loss of my mother.
Sorry to hear that.
And it's fine. And when that happened, it happened when I was young. I was 7 years old. I was 7 years old when it happened. And I just had this outlook since then that I cannot be a failure in her eyes. She was the closest thing to me. She's the main reason why I push every day, because regardless of if I ain't have not one person in my life, I knew I had her, so she was always there. Regardless of she's not here, she's always that push, that reason for me to keep going further, because I don't want to seem like a failure in my mother's eyes. I always believe that a son and a mother has a stronger bond, and like a daughter and a father has that stronger bond. And with me and my mom, like I said, regardless of the fact that she, passed away when I was young, I always use that as a source of motivation and inspiration to keep moving forward, because like I said, I can't seem like a failure regardless of anything I go through. I always got to do everything for her and to make her happy and to look a certain way in her eyes.
So how did the loss of your mother shape your feeling toward women, relationships? How did all of that? How did that shape that? Because I know not having that figure there, it had to create something. So maybe in like a minute or so, could you tell us, or the listening audience, how did that affect your relationship with women in general?
Well, as far as my mom passing away, that me witnessing what she went through before she passed, and then knowing the end result, because I'm gonna just put this out there, she actually was killed. She was killed. She was shot by my father, and just me knowing what she went through prior to that shaped my mentality. It don't take much for you to realize what's right and what's wrong. So when I noticed when I witnessed what she went through, I was like, this can't be the way you treat women.
Wow.
Like you can't treat a woman this way, because at the end of the day, this is putting a frown on her face. This is making her sad. This is making her cry at the end of the day. You know, so my outlook on my mom is just the way I feel like I have to be able to see another female. You know what I'm saying? I have to look at her in the same respectful light that I see my mother. And it also comes from how, you know what I'm saying, she carried herself. Right. Or whatever. That will make me look at her that way. But just the same way I have these views about my mom is the same way I feel that I have to see these women today, because at the end of the day, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a woman.
Wow.
You know, we can't make ourselves, you know,
right.
So that's the way I view it. I have this high respect. Like, she's just like this godly figure in my head now. Wow. You know, so with that being said, every time I think of a female, every time I see a female, I try to see the best in her and make that comparison to this high figure that I have in my life.
Right. And the interesting part about that, ladies and gentlemen, is even in the rap genre, most guys have such a negative, or have such negative verbiage as it relates to women. So to hear you say, I can't allow myself to treat women a certain way, simply because I viewed my mom as a godly figure, and if I don't give homage to women in general, I'm basically disrespecting my mom. That tells me that even though the journey was hard and even though it was painful, that she left something in you that was invaluable, that no one can take away from you, right. No one could give you, and who knows, even if you would have gleaned that much with her presence, her absence has surely placed a light within you that allows you to show outwardly who you are. And you guys, that's the important part about understanding who you are and understanding your journey, but most of all, learning from your journey. Again, this is an episode here where I have GTorres. We're going to take another break and we're going to come right back. Keep it locked right here for more of this great interview that can impact and change the life of every person listening that's on a journey.
We'll be right back with more of Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan on Montgomery's CW Network. Now, back to Breaking Through Your Now with Sybil Sloan on Montgomery's CW Network.
It's your life coach, Sybil Sloan, and you're tuned back into Breaking Through Your Now, and I am interviewing GTorres. For those of you who just tuned in, this is a great interview, and we are sharing with GTorres in reference to his project that dropped on January the 27th entitled Truths. This is his project. It is awesome information that we're sharing. I haven't actually gotten to listen to a lot of the music. I think I listened to like a 20 seconds of his raw, what's it called, freestyle? Yeah. That was a raw freestyle. And in that, you were saying some things that were really, really, I consider them to be really, really helpful and really important, because it lets people see who you are. Earlier we talked about how you allow your music to be transparent, right, because you want people to be able to relate to you before they connect to you. And as that happens, people, I guess that makes your fan base grow. Earlier also, while we were talking before we got on taping, we were talking about how you went through a season of being blamed, like people made you believe that, or wanted to cause you to believe that you were the reason why. How did you get through that? Because that's a hard place, because people who go through that grow up believing that they're always the reason why? How did you allow yourself to get through that? Have you gotten through it? Are you getting through it? Just share with the audience how to get through that place.
Well, really all it took for me to do was look myself in the mirror. I caught myself in the moment when I looked in the mirror and trying to figure out what's wrong with me. Because people blaming everything on you and making you seem like you're the problem is going to put you in that space where you're trying to figure out what is wrong with me, what is wrong with me. And it's like when you know for a fact that you trying to go about everything the right way and you can't figure out what in the world are you doing wrong. And you're placed in a moment where you start to notice and be observant to those same people that blame you start to disappear.
Wow.
You know, they start to disappear, and the moments where y'all back in each other's circumference, they don't have nothing to say to you.
Wow.
Because those moments they blamed you came from nothing. They just try to make you feel a certain way so they wouldn't have the blame put on them. So once you realize that, it go from there to you saying, okay, you know what? I'm not to blame anymore. I know what they're doing. So what I'm going to do is just distance myself from them. That is what I consider negative energy.
Okay.
Those people that put the blame on you, that's the negative energy you don't need in your life.
Right.
You know? So that's what helped me to move forward and helped me move past that, was deleting all of that negative energy.
Okay, so before we finish this interview, you know, I know some people out there like, woo, GTorres. You got that special young lady that you would like to give a shout out to, that one and only significant other?
I don't.
Oh, he don't, ladies. Yeah, they said he don't. Okay.
Not today.
So is there anybody else you would like to give a shout out to?
I definitely do have those. This project in particular, this Truths album, this is something that's dear to me, and I wouldn't have been able to put it together if it wasn't for a select few of people. One being my producer Nimrod, who is, I can't express how dope this guy is.
Okay.
He laid the emotion behind, he laid the soundtrack behind the album. It's funny saying the soundtrack behind the album, but he really, I painted the picture, he played the emotional music behind it that's going to draw the tears out of it. Also, Tish Monet, she's a phenomenal singer, you know what I'm saying, also here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, that's really doing her thing, making big noise. Also, Queen, who is featured on The Getaway, you know, she's in Louisiana right now, but she's also a singer. She gives you that Jill Scott vibe, you know. And also my guy Carter J, who's featured on The Pain, he definitely brought the vocals, which is the deepest song on there, where I expressed the talk about my mom and everything and what had this effect on me. His deliverance on the chorus of that song, that might be what grabs you and the tears start running down your face. So yeah, everybody, all of those people has definitely played their big role on putting this album together.
Well, that is awesome. And I don't think we touched on it yet. What else do you do? Take like 30-40 seconds and just tell people what else you do besides rap. I think you have, do you have a label or something?
Yes, I do have a label, Lionside Music Group, which I started July 27th.
Wow, this year? Last year?
Last year.
Last year,
July 27th.
okay.
That was just something that was premeditated for a couple years now. I'm just one that believe that if you're not signed to a major, then you're independent regardless.
Right.
So
that's true.
Why not have something that's basically a symbol of what embodies me? Like the whole lion is something that I try to embody. Me being a Leo, born August 7th, 1989.
Woo! Somebody heard that.
Yeah. So just the lion, the courage, the royalty, you know what I'm saying, the strength and everything that comes along with that image, that animal, is something that I try to embody, and that's just my symbol. That's my baby. That's something that's not leaving me, you know what I'm saying, ever in life. So that's gonna be my stamp on the hip hop game.
Okay, so his stamp on the hip hop game. You guys also know this is his shirt. So where can they find you on the World Wide Web?
www.imgtorres.com is my official website. GTorres on Facebook, Twitter, I_am_GTorres. Instagram is the same thing, I_am_GTorres. YouTube, GTorres. Google, that's gonna lay it all out for you. Is Google. So videos, pictures, everything. You know.
So he's everywhere.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
so that's a good thing. Do you have any promos, like any type of tour coming up or anything, or they can find that on your website?
Yes, you definitely can find that on my website. I do have one event that I'm gonna be a part of on Fayetteville Fashion Week coming up. I will be performing at Fayetteville Fashion Week, and more information about that will be posted on the website. But anything you need to know about upcoming events, everything is www.imgtorres.com.
Well, it has been indeed a pleasure to have you here. It has definitely changed my scope and my view on rap and hip hop, because usually what I get from people that purchase it, because I'm not a big rap fan, not because I don't like it, it's just I was just born and bred in a certain genre of music, and because of that I think a little bit differently. So if you could take like 10-15 seconds and tell the listening audience something that they can do to change the way that they think, so they can alter the entire course of their life, what would you tell them if you had to say, I guess in 30 words or less, something they could do to change?
Take a moment out of your day. Realize where you're at in your life, and let go of anything negative that has came prior to that point, that hour, that minute that you're standing there. Turn your back from it and move forward. Things will start to change in your life, and I promise you it has done the same for me. Things will start to change for the better in your life once you let every little bit of negativity go. Whether it's people, whether it's family, whether it's friends, regardless of whatever it is, put it behind you and focus on the future and moving forward and how you're going to get there. Line your ducks up in a row, knock them down one by one, and eventually you're going to get to where you want to be.
And you heard it first from GTorres here on Breaking Through Your Now with your life coach, Sybil Sloan. Again, thank you so much. And remember, if you change the way that you think, you will alter the entire course of your life. Until next time.